and welcome to the Honest the Hour podcast. Our guest today is Dr. Yaser Maddahi, CEO of Tactile Robotics from Canada, an innovator revolutionizing healthcare training through AI, robotics, and digital health solutions. Welcome, Dr. Yaser, to the program. Happy to have you here.
Hi, Pima. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure always talking to you. And I'm so excited to share our story and the journey that we had and have in Tactile Robotics.
Amazing, amazing. Happy to have you as well. Well, let's jump into it. Let's learn a little bit about tactile robotics and your journey there. Tell us, what problem are you solving at tactile robotics at its core?
Uh, we make medical training, specifically dental training, rehabilitation devices, and AI-powered research system by using robots, AI power systems, sensory systems, and haptics. These devices mimic human touch and training and the feeling and whatever we have in the brain, we can turn it to a simulation mode or computer mode. We technically help the trainer, the training doctors, and the researchers practice procedures in a safe and realistic way without needing real patients.
Oh, amazing. What inspires you to start the company?
So we saw a big gap in dental training. We started with dental training. Students didn't have enough hands-on experience before working with real patients, and that was the challenge that was identified by my wife when she was a dental
Mm.
student. So we talked to her colleagues, the students, the profs, and we decided to create a solution that makes learning safer and more effective. So what we do technically, we help them feel the intangible. We help them to have more KPIs, more metrics when they are practicing, when they are learning and training. And we started from there. And after that, we had opportunity to work with different stakeholders, and we designed other platforms like iManus that you see in my background.
Mhm.
And we went to healthcare treatment as well. And after that, for research, we used the expertise, the skill set that we had to use in the research.
Oh, amazing. So, healthcare technology is quite involved, and there's a lot of trials and tribulations and challenges with it. What's been the hardest part in developing healthcare technology for you?
Uh, I think something that is missing in most of the companies, especially startup companies, is that they want to invent something and they think that that solution helps the end users. But what we did at Tactile Robotics, we started working and interviewing the end users to identify the main challenges that exist. And we wanted to see what kind of pain points they have. We interviewed many dentists, many therapists for rehabilitations, and animal science facilities as well for different products that we had. We tried to understand what they really need. And after that, we proposed a solution. We didn't started inventing anything. We
Mm.
proposed the solution. We tried to make them understand the ROI that the system has for them to see if they like it and if they can implement or not. And then we started developing our prototype and MVP and then the final product.
Oh, amazing. So, as you've been going through your journey, what's been your biggest aha moment that you saw something and said, wow, this is it? What was that for you?
Uh, uh,
I mean,
what
what I'm asking is, sometimes when you're dealing with challenges, when you're deep in trying to, come up with solutions, building a product, all of a sudden, kind of the light bulb goes on. Oh, this is the key thing. This is what we've been missing. This is now it could be either from a technology standpoint, it could be from a business standpoint, it could be from a go-to-market standpoint. But every business, there's these moments where you say, especially like, excuse me, when you're trying to find product market fit, for example, and or you're developing the core technology. You have these times where all of a sudden a brilliant flash of idea comes in and says, wow, aha, if we go this path, this is going to get us where we want to go. Did you have one of those moments?
I think we recently had it. So we have been working on commercializing and demoing like prep scanner and dentich for a few months. And the way we were advertising and promoting this technology was that we have a very cool high tech technology. We
Hmm.
use AI, we use robotics, we use haptics that helps students to acquire more skills. That helps them to have 3D model, 3D rubric, and everything was about the students. And then we sat, we talked about why we don't get like much attention about the way we are promoting that. There was a click there.
Mm.
We said, you know what? This is not the students that we need to talk about. This is the valuable time of the instructors. With this technology, we can save their time, which is very
Exactly.
valuable, and they can spend on other aspects of their work, like admin, like research. So we are going to help them to save their time, to spend their time for other aspects of their work. So this way, when we started promoting, we got too much attention and it changed our business strategy and sales and marketing strategy.
Ah, amazing. Okay, fantastic. So, your product, what you do in the company, you're kind of mixing AI, haptics, robotics all together. In the healthcare industry, I mean, AI is, it's the number one topic right now, right? Healthcare is obviously a huge industry. Have you seen some misconceptions when it comes to AI and healthcare? What people are doing or thinking versus what it actually is?
Uh, there is, especially after ChatGPT, I guess everyone is claiming to do AI. First of all, some of them are doing like advanced statistical analysis. It's not AI. Why should they call it AI? I don't know. But if you go with the fancy word of AI, I think they would buy it much better. The challenge that we have for AI, first of all, I should mention here that the reason that we have different suite of products is that for the IMANS, we needed to go through the FDA Health Canada approval clinical trials, and we knew that it's a long term like achievement if we want to make it commercialized. Then we decided to have like Dentich and other products that doesn't need any regulatory
Mm,
approval, and they are simple. Like we can start with the site revenue and then go to that healthcare like field that you're talking about. But the problem that I see these days is that patients' privacy and like diagnosis is something that most of AI platforms they do not follow properly. Like
mm,
there are acts, there are regulations that they need to follow, but it's when you go deep to their technology, you see that no, they are not following that, and whatever diagnosis that you see, it's not very accurate. Like it's personalized for that patient. That's why a need for a regulated procedure and implementing AI for healthcare is a must to me. That is not done very well these days.
very good. Okay. Let me ask you a little about robotics since you're in that space. Where do you see robotics and healthcare going in let's say in the next 5, maybe even 10 years? I mean, that's a immensely long time, but where do you see, the advent of robotics? And I mean, we're seeing the how AI is changing everything. What about on the robotics side?
This is my personal belief. Okay, I want to share
Sure.
that. So
Yeah.
everyone talks about AI. So
Hmm.
this AI powered software, the AI powered app. But the point is that how many apps can help us like live easier, okay, help us for diagnosis. Like for physicians, I understand ChatGPT can provide like many recommendations, but at the end of the day we need to look at what Boston Dynamic is doing. what Tesla is doing. We need a peripheral, we need a robot, we need a physical object to be combined with AI. So AI should be implemented in those devices to do a practical, a physical task, which is very important. So the SaaS models, the software only solutions are good. I'm not saying they're not like uh, they are not used these days. Everyone loves them. But how many video editors do you need in your life, in the world? How
Yeah.
many like translators do you need? At the end of the day, you need something. If you are going to repair a car with robot, do a surgery, a neurosurgery, like I was involved in a project in Project NeuroArm. I did my postdoc for neurosurgery with robot. So AI at the end of the day should be implemented with a physical object like a robot. So
Hmm.
robots would be the end user of the AI technology. That
Hmm.
is to
Interesting.
me very important.
Oh, very interesting. So you're in the dental space with robotics and AI, more on the educational side. Can you think of another medical industry that it's rapid need of change and disruption, utilizing either robotics or AI or both?
Uh, as you said, we are mostly working in dental space, and in dental space for like operations for treatment. Unfortunately, robotics cannot be used because the patient is like used much, I would say, because the patient should be awake when they are doing some operation, and it's very difficult to coordinate the end effector of the wrist of the robot. Okay, but for other applications, like for surgery, for example, for telesurgery, let's say you have a doctor there and there is a patient here and they want to use the benefit of skills that you have, your doctor has. So there could be a robot here. And if we implement that AI, the AI in that robotic system that makes it more accurate, less, I would say, delay, and like many more parameters. So one application is surgery, for example. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a patient in North, and there is no doctor there, and you need an immediate surgery, and the doctor is here in the city. So if a robot and a lightly trained nurse is there, with the help of the robot, I would say AI, they can do the surgery. Not complex surgery. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
neurosurgery. I'm talking about simple surgeries. The project that we were working on that was robot assisted space surgery. We wanted to have a robot in the International Space Station being controlled from here. Like it's a simple incident, medical incident there, or in north in remote communities. That's an emergency because there is no doctor to take care of that situation. And having technology, including robots, including any machine, like even AI, that could help a lot.
Oh, amazing. Okay, let's talk a little about your entrepreneurial journey and the startups that you're building.
Sure.
So, from that perspective, what's been a key asset, key skill set for you to be able to build your startup? And you've achieved many successes up to this point. What do you believe that's been a key component of your success as you're building your company?
Uh, First of all, I don't consider myself as a successful person and Tactile Robotics as a successful company. Okay, I see many successful people. The only thing that we do here is that we never give up.
Mm, very
We
good.
never give up. Whatever happens, we just believe in what we are doing, and we know we are the future of healthcare. We are the future of AI and robotics. So we never give up. We do mistake for sure. Everyone does. You do, I'm sure, but we need to learn lessons from that mistake. And this is what we are trying to do. We
Oh,
listen to everyone. We listen to our advisors, but we do whatever we decide to do.
mm,
I think that's a key point that every entrepreneur should do, because I receive like tens of emails every day that I'm a coach for this one. We build your startup. We do this one, that one. When you go to their profile, they haven't run a startup themselves. They haven't raised a single dollar to date, and they believe that they can close your round. I cannot believe that, honestly.
No, yeah, very good. Yes. So, have built a team over at Tactile Robotics. What are some key things in terms of building a highly effective team in a small company as you're building your startup that drives innovation, that's able to deal with all the challenges of building a company at that size, given all the financial and timeline challenges that you're facing?
So financial challenges, that's something that we all agree that there is up and down in startups, and in deep tech startups like us, there is more downs than ups, right? What we do, like when we choose a team member, we try to get someone who understands the concept of working in a startup.
Mm,
Like they are not normally 9 to 5 people.
yes. Hmm.
And the thing that we do here, every single move that we want to do, this decision, we share with the team here. We There is a board of director absolutely who make like the decision at the end of the day, but we need to get everyone involved in whatever we are gonna do, because they are brilliant, they are smart, and they can help us a lot. And most of the problems that are created here, we ask them to find the solution, and we make sure that at the end of the day, no one is going to blame them.
Very good. Very good. What do you think is one misconception that a lot of people that want to venture into tech entrepreneurships may have? They think one thing, but the reality is something totally different.
Uh, I think there is one thing for me. Everyone thinks that, oh, you do have your own business. Good for you. You have freedom.
Ah,
You
yes.
No, you're in jail. You have to work 24 hours a day, and you have to think 7 days a week. So you are driving, you need to use your voice recognition system to text, to write emails. You need to make your calls on the way to your kids' schools, for example.
Hmm.
So you need to think about your business. Even if you are not in your office, you are not doing your business job, you need to think about that. And honestly, I've never made any decision. I've never had any brilliant idea in my office.
In your office.
Everything happens during driving. When you
Hmm.
drink, when you are in a party, when you chat, this is what happens. And freedom, I think, is a lie. It happens after a few years. It may or may not. But at the beginning, it's very stressful. There are ups and downs, as I said, but you should never give up.
Amazing, amazing. What's the best advice you received as you've been going through this journey?
Uh, So you are a mentor for us. So I shouldn't
I
probably
appreciate
say this,
that.
but I should say that to me, we are talking like especially like 5 years ago, we used to talk with everyone to learn about business. Our background is like we are coming from another country. We immigrated here. We are not familiar with the business terms here, how the business is done here, even if we had experience there back home. But we were not confident enough, I would say. So we used to talk to many people, and everyone has a different story, different opinion. You cannot keep everyone happy. Again, if you want to run your business, any business, you need to listen, you need to take advice,
Mhm.
but you need to decide yourself. And for me, it's a little bit different. I always believe in my gut feeling.
Yeah.
I think this is something that at the end of the day, I'm not gonna blame myself because I decided based on the situation that I was in that day. And one more thing is that like it's interesting, like the decision that you make is for that moment. I know in one year from now, you know many things that you didn't know that time. But right now, this is the best decision that you make. You send your kid to school A, and after a year, you notice that, oh, school B is much better. But that time, based on the criteria that you had, school A was chosen. Don't blame yourself. That was the decision that for sure was the best that time.
Very good. How do you see failure when it comes to entrepreneurship?
What is failure?
Anything that doesn't go as you expected, something that failed,
Uh,
something
I,
that,
I don't call it failure.
oh, okay,
That's
very good.
learning.
That's
That's
learning. Very
learning.
good.
So I don't like too many failures for sure. No one likes, but the experience that you gain during a failure is more than the happiness you gain during your success, I would say.
Very good.
It builds you.
Hmm.
It makes,
Is there
yeah,
one in your journey that you can point to say, hey, we failed or this didn't go like we wanted to, but we learned a lot from it? Is there a one big one in your journey that you can talk about?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like we had pivots in our company. Like we changed the products and
Hmm.
we shifted our focus from one area to another area until we understood that what is the main focus that we had to stay on. Do you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
so we had these failures, and one failure, like I was coming from like a research and academic background.
Okay.
So switching from research and academic to business, it's a little bit difficult. Like I'm not sure if I'm using the right terms, but we used to be like more humble, more like paper writer, the author, the book writer, like personality, and then we switched to something that we had to request for money from the customers. That was very difficult for me. Like the mental I would say the mentality that I had that time was completely changed. So at the beginning, when we started, I was in the research mode. So like to work with universities, with research centers. I do love now, but I select like my partners. That time, everyone could come to us and start a collaboration. I didn't know that not every collaboration could be helpful and successful for your business. I would say that time, whatever we decided to do was to satisfy our soul that was coming from the research part. But now every decision that we make is all about the company and business.
Hmm. Very good. Very good. Um, what do you think is one thing that people wouldn't expect about you when they meet you and they learn that, oh, we thought Yasser, this is an entrepreneur, but it's actually this.
That's a good question. Let me think about it. Uh, I think okay. Let me like categorize it into two groups. Like people who
Okay.
knew me
Yeah.
from like before and after Tactile. Okay, so before Tactile, so everyone thought that I was a researcher. I was doing research, writing papers, and now when they see me like wearing another shoes, that would be a little bit surprising for them. And I don't need to explain what I'm doing because they are from a different like world.
Sure.
And I have a good friend here who is a prof at
Mm.
university. I talk to him, and he's a mentor to me. He always says, "You don't know what you gain after you left university, after you started Tactile Robotics." Many people, including me, including him, I mean, he says they don't know about like taxes, they don't know about
Yeah.
accounting, like patents, how to sell, how to communicate. And we stayed on the same page that we were. We didn't learn anything else, but you know those things plus a new terminology that we never learned. Uh, I think, for the second part, like after Tactile Robotics, most of them think that, okay. Let me clarify this. We had some investors. So
Okay.
we are like several doctors and dentists here. When we talk to investors, they think that we are scary to invest in.
Mm,
I don't know the reason. We have like many KPIs that shows how successful we were, how could we do project A to B and make a business. But one of them one day told me, I don't think we have the ability to coach you and be with you. And
that's quite
that's
interesting.
wrong. That's a
Hmm.
false statement because we always try to learn and they judged us based on the title that was there.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So they saw you as an academic, not as an entrepreneur.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
How
we
would you?
proved otherwise.
Yes, yes, definitely. How would you describe your leadership style, like in one sentence?
Uh, in okay, let me think about it. That's
Okay, no
I
worries. Well,
hope
let
you
me let
caught
me let me
yeah.
ask you a different question. We can come with that. If you could give yourself, your younger self, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it may be, some advice based on what you know today, what would that advice be?
I, based on what I know right now,
Yeah.
I would say I would start the journey that I started now 20 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was scared of many things that I wasn't sure about. I was scared of the failure, but now I'm not. What is the end of that if there is a failure?
Yeah.
When I'm 60 years old, I wouldn't blame myself that I should have done this, I should have done that. No, I did it. It was
Mhm.
a success or failure, and I'm always happy about it, with or without success. I would have started 20 years ago when I was much younger.
Amazing. I mean, so
And
you twin.
I wouldn't experience many ways to see, is academic good, is business good, or should I be a teacher, should I be an engineer. I wish I had this experience that I have now, like when I was 18, not even 20 years ago.
Well, I love that. So let me ask you a joined question here. How would you, college kids today, right? What advice would you give them in terms of, the path they want to take? They're sitting there with all kinds of options in front of them. What would you tell them?
I understand most of the graduates, new grads, they are looking for a job to work 9 to 5. I
Mm,
don't blame them. They have been in a tough situation. They are so excited about what they've completed. But what I would say is that start a side job to experience being entrepreneur. Start coding, start thinking differently. Even if you go to gym, look at the machines around you and see how you can enhance them. That would be the start of a $1 billion company. Just look at your world, your environment differently. That's very important. And do not rely on being hired by Apple, by big companies.
mm,
No, everyone has the potential to be a successful entrepreneur for sure. And they just have to identify that talent.
amazing. All right, this is bringing us towards the end. Let me ask you a couple of fun one answer questions. So if I asked you robotics or AI, which one would you pick? And you could only pick one.
Or robotics.
Robotics.
Yeah.
Morning person or night owl? Not night owl, excuse me.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. Amazing.
Yes. When my kids like wake up at 6:30, I've replied to all of my emails.
Wow, that's great. Coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee for sure.
A risk taker or calculated planner?
What do you think?
Very good. Entrepreneur or educator?
Entrepreneur now.
Amazing. Yaser, Dr. Yaser, it's been absolutely amazing having you. It's been a great conversation. I think a lot of people will pick up a lot of insights from this, and it's been amazing working with you in the past year and seeing the growth and the success of your company. Thank you again for taking time to speak with me a little in the Honest Hour podcast. It's always very informative to learn more about entrepreneurs, their journey, and everybody's journey is very different, but there's definitely a lot of similarities. So we can all learn from each other. And again, I thank you for the time and for sharing with us today.
Thank you very much, Payman, for having me. I had the same closing note that everyone's journey is different, and any comment, any expression that I had here, that was my sole experience, and it could be completely incorrect. But I just talked about my experience. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity.